Good morning, Outreach. Welcome to the show where we discuss the state of the game in MechWarrior Online, along with announcements, upcoming content, and even some speculation and opinion thrown in for good measure. Let's start off by introducing the USIC Irregulars.
Hey, I'm Caboodles, or Cabadellis in game.
Maverick here.
This is Mittens, known as Dr. Ew in-game.
Kablam! This is Petra.
And I'm Avalon. You'll see me around as Avalon Guard. So we're going to start off here with announcements of kind of what's happened this past week or what's going on at this moment. First off, this was pretty cool to hear. There was a crash to desktop hotfix that was pushed at 10 a.m. Pacific time on May 3rd. I can vouch that I played quite a bit of MechWarrior last night, and I didn't see a single crash.
I'm gonna let Mins field this one.
Well, I haven't had any hard crashes to the desktop where the client just, straight up kills the process. But I have had several matches, particularly last night, where it was like 3 matches in a row where about a minute into the match, the game decided I wanted to go straight back to the mech lab, and I was done. Which was kind of frustrating, especially because I wanted to get my mech warrior on.
I mean, I was a huge victim of the CTD bug on my system. I postulated a while ago that CryEngine does not like AMD processors whatsoever, but it seemed to clear up a ton of things for me. So I've had a relatively clean MechWarrior experience. I think Mins may have discovered a new bug though.
I've been having that bug for several weeks now, though. I don't hardly ever get the crash to desktop bug, which they allegedly fixed, but I had been getting the one where you go back to the mech lab, your mech is still in game, and your teammates are playing the match.
You should report it repeatedly.
I don't think they addressed that one in this patch or hotfix.
I've honestly not heard mention of it, so this might be one of those that's in the collective consciousness that doesn't get mentioned.
Have any of you gotten that bug before?
Maybe
I
once.
I haven't gotten it straight to mech lab. I've had it straight to desktop where MechWarrior crashes. Just there. But not during the startup sequence.
Alright, so Mittens and anybody listening that's had this, be sure to report that.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't know it exists until you say something.
Everyone just writing it off as, oh, MechWarrior.
So, also, May 3rd, we saw a Trial by Fire sale start. This is one of several we've seen in the past. The mechs on sale this time are the RVN 4X, the CN9A, and the OS 8Q. So, Raven, Centurion, Awesome. Note the exclusion of the Dragon 5NC.
Isn't it technically on sale anyway because it's got the lower MC cost?
No, I think isn't it the lower MC compared to the Hero? Not compared to the regular stock version of the mech?
You know what? I'm going to admit that I don't know.
I feel really embarrassed that we don't have an answer for this.
If there's anyone in the chat who wants to be our best pal ever, who wants to look that up, we're going to crowdsource that. How does that sound?
Yeah. We'll move on to the Ask the Devs, and we'll come back to that then.
Yeah. This was one of my favorite Ask the Devs recently. So much cool little information snuck in there.
I was so busy formatting the post, I didn't get to read it, and then when I went back and read it, I just kind of went, oh boy.
So we're not going to go over the whole thing, but we've pulled out a couple of questions that I think particularly caught our eye. One here, community warfare will be fighting neighboring factions over border worlds. According to the last AMA, will all factions be fighting all other factions in community warfare matches, is the gist of it. The answer to this is quote, there is a matrix of enemy/friendly states, so no, not all factions will be at war with everyone. Alliances will exist, and they will change dynamically according to the BattleTech timeline.
I think
So-
that's very cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah, because you're gonna, just start seeing different people on the field when alliances are shifting. So that'll be exciting.
And you'll probably end up playing with the same people over and over again.
Right. Right. So something to mix it up a little bit will be nice.
I'm really curious on how that's going to work out with Elo. Like, there's going to be some pretty intense rivalries going on, I think, because with the Elo rating, it's actually going to dilute, or not dilute, sharpen the pool of who you're going to be facing.
Yeah, they're definitely be facing fewer people on a match-per-match basis. Just seeing the same guy faces over and over again.
Yeah, they are saying it's thousands of matches at any given time. So divide that by the 6 factions or so there are, cut that in half, and all of a sudden you're seeing half the population in any given match.
I mean, I think it's definitely going to make the community warfare aspect like a very, very stiff thing. Like, I know I always do this and call back the parallels to WoW, but the arena system, dear God, there were some teams when you queued up against them and you just wanted to beat them no matter what. Even if you weren't that highly ranked, it was that one combination or that one team that you're just like, no, we have to beat these guys.
Actually, we've had that a couple times. In like when we were running 8-mans. I remember that
Yeah.
fight against the Centurion Death Squad. That
Yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I still have nightmares.
Big
Yeah, we
props to
came back
whoever that was.
determined to kick their butts, and we almost did.
Almost.
And every time goons show up, everyone just sort of wants to beat up goons.
They've been a lot less visible lately.
So moving on to the next question here. Will there be an increase in the incentive/rewards for playing light mechs now that, well, quote here, the risk is more dangerous? The answer is really cool. As we flesh out the rules for each mech, yes, but this is not specific to just lights. So Role for Warfare should be showing its face a little bit more, and that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Nice.
What kind of rewards do you guys see coming down the pipeline?
I think you're... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Av.
I think we could see a lot of, like, the damage done. I could see that being rewarded more on some of the heavier chassis, while stuff like spotting and capturing will be specifically rewarded for the lighter chassis.
I was thinking just a change in the way that they score the matches, but
That'd be good, too.
yeah.
I'd like to
'cause-
see. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say that would really help with the tournaments if they start putting more stuff into factoring that score.
Another thing that I could see being really cool is, as a light mech, time with target in view as you are providing the initial targeting information and people are getting that targeting information. That could be fantastic for scout players.
So do you think that these rewards will incentivize traditional roles that mechs would play and then probably decentivize, that's a word, things like stalkers running around the edge of the map and then trying to backcap while everyone else is fighting in the middle of the map somewhere?
Well, I don't think you're ever going to be able to fully disincentivize people from doing really, really, really stupid things. I mean, no matter what, you've got the 27% crazification factor that believe they're right no matter what. But I think I think you could see. I'd actually be really interested in seeing chassis-specific rewards, like the Awesomes get bonus rewards for dealing damage outside a certain range. You know, because they're supposed to be fire support mechs. Let's see. You know, an Awesome, you get a 2% C-bill bonus on every bit of damage you do outside 400 meters.
I like that.
Be interesting.
I-
Another thing that would be kind of cool would be to see pilot skill changes that are specific to a certain chassis.
God damn it. You stole mine.
So if you were to do something like, if you start investing points into upgrading damage, you might be able to, maybe tweak out the range of a PPC or a large laser or something by, maybe 5% or so, just to, give you a little bit more of an edge at, the extreme ranges of the battle.
Speaking of pilot skills, the next Ask the Devs question. Let's see. I think I saw somewhere that the pilot tree may be expanded / changed sometime before launch. Will this have any effect on the skills we have already unlocked, or will this change how one gets elite and master levels? And the answer: we make changes, and they would have to be dramatic. If we make changes, they would have to be dramatic. We would refund all of the XP spent and allow you to respec as necessary. There are currently no plans to change basic / elite / master structure. Rather, we are looking to expand the efficiencies into other categories, such as weapons.
Which kind of gets into the point that I just made.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd like to see, again, mech-specific efficiencies, because, some of them just don't apply to certain mechs. Like, arm reflex isn't going to be any help to most of the Cicada variants, because they have nothing in their arms.
Yeah, I hate spending XP on that one.
I'd like to see jump jet efficiencies for mechs with jump jets. That would make
That'd be very
sense.
cool.
That would be cool.
The whole efficiencies on weapons is super exciting. I'd love to see that.
And it might help to kind of standardize the sort of weapon loadouts that a mech can bring to the table, which kind of creates more of that classic inner sphere. You have a set weapon grouping for this mech, as opposed to what the clan mechs are bringing to the table with the Omni mechs, where you can still fit stuff with whatever you want, but if you want to get those better efficiencies, for running, whatever LRMs on a specific catapult chassis, then you're going to have to get LRMs put on if you want those efficiencies unlocked.
Making LRMs better on certain mechs.
Right. So on like a catapult C1 or a C4 or whatever, say, instead of giving it, a streak SRMs or short range missiles or something, you can give it a LRM efficiency bonus. So, you can still put the SRMs on, but you're not going to get the range bonus or the targeting lock bonus or whatever they decide to put in there.
Kind of like very soft hardpoint restriction change.
Yeah, sort of.
Incentivize certain mechs to fill certain roles, kind of like what we were talking about with the Awesome.
Exactly.
Only on a pilot skill level instead of a per chassis level.
Interesting. Yeah. At any rate, I would love to see changes to this, because I feel like right now, for people that play a lot, you kind of go through, you buy a chassis, elite it out or master it out, and then go on to the next chassis.
And then you have
spending more time.
300,000 XP on a mech that you've been playing for hours and hours on end. You have nothing to spend it on.
Only 300,000? God, I might be over 800 on my Reaper now.
That's a lot of Atlas.
That's a whole lot of Atlas.
So next question here in our little list. Would you consider adding the ability to send out a distress signal? For example, press home, and they say, interesting idea, possibly. I think we can roll this kind of into the next question. How about an easy-to-use function for the Lance Commander to call out the targets? Answer, we have a command wheel coming after launch that should help with this. So they are really looking into it and getting it done here.
Oh my god, that'd be fantastic.
A command wheel will be amazing. One little change that popped up in, I think it was the last patch? I actually don't know when it popped up, but I've noticed that when you spot an enemy on the minimap now, it flashes red real quick and pings.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been
that was a nice little change.
It was a couple patches ago, I think.
Yeah. But I think it's just those pubs who jump in who haven't really aligned themselves with an online community. They just want to play and have fun. The fact that they'll be able to, either listen to commands we give them or say, "Hey, I'm here. They're all here." That's really good.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of the things that made the Battlefield franchise so good, and I'm kind of sad they got away from it in the more recent versions, but that's the consolification of the game. But the old school command wheel in 2142 and 1942 was amazing.
Yeah. In-game voice over IP as well. That was
Yeah, I was just about to
super
say,
useful.
if you
Yeah.
just include voice chat into the game, and you bake it in, then everyone uses voice chat, and you don't need to use command wheels and distress signals and whatnot.
Yeah, but then you turn public matches into Xbox Live, which
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And
On second thought, let's not have that.
No. You say that, but playing 2142, I didn't have a problem with assholes in chat. Really didn't. Might just have been the servers I played, but
That was also 8 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, I feel old now.
Thanks, Mav.
You are old.
Yeah, I can see
Actually, I
the
guess it was
reluctance.
only 2142 was only about 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
No,
I
damage
feel
is
much
already
better
done.
now. I feel much better now.
Yes.
Anyways, I can see why they're reluctant to have VoIP like built in, but I think any changes to kind of bring pub matches closer to the coordination that pre-mades have is just awesome. Awesome, awesome. Good GI.
I'm going to take this conversation on a bit of a tangent because this is something I'm really curious about.
Do it.
How ELO works in groups. Is it averaged across the entire group in a pub match? Or is it...
I swear it's averaged.
I kind of feel like it has to be, but
I thought what I heard was that when they set up a match, they pick, okay, this is the target ELO number per player that we're looking for, and then they look for people that are close to that. I suspect with groups, they just try to find the average of that group.
But-
Yeah, that's from what I understand, though. I thought the way that ELO was implemented was that it took all of the players on your team, averaged the ELO, and then tried to match it with a team with that same average ELO. Am I wrong on that?
Well, I don't know about 8-mans.
I mean, but even 4-mans, like, if it averages ELO out, there can be a huge disparity within the 4-man.
Oh yeah.
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 I mean, like last night we were playing against people that I'm pretty sure were running the trial mechs. I mean, unless they were just doing that for shits and giggles. I don't know.
Yeah. I saw a lot of trial mechs last night, and that's what got me thinking
Yeah.
about this. Like, I
Yes.
personally cored 3 trial awesomes in one match, and I'm pretty sure they weren't on the same team. So, I mean, why am I facing 3 people in trial awesomes?
It's probably because I don't really know. Like I would think that if we have 4 Usyks that drop together and then you have another decent pre-made on the other team, like any instance of pub showing up on the other side more than 1 or 2 is a serious failure of the ELO system, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I would like to see more information on how that algorithm works.
But
I mean,
sadly,
I know that's kind
we
of
will never
a
know.
scary topic. I don't want to know like numbers, but I just want to see how the matchmaker, I would like them to tell us how the matchmaker does its thing.
Well, I think that they've stated pretty clearly. There's even an answer in this. Ask the devs here. Quote, will empirical and statistical data on ELO and its various information ever be provided for analysis by the wider community? Answer, no. We have no plans to release ELO scores to the public. I think the reasons for this are pretty clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to see people's scores. I don't care about that. I just want to, I'm curious about, what Matt's asking about. Like, are we,
How they actually groups up.
yeah, I want to know how the matchmaker works.
Well, because this
That's
is where I'm going with this. With the changes to the lobby mode coming up, and then obviously it's going to impact Community Warfare as well. But the changes to the lobby mode where we're going to a more League of Legends system where you get in and you're going to have a map vote and then some sort of mech draft and eventually a tonnage limit with the voice chat and the different ELO systems. People who are taking command may not actually be good if it's like qualified to command that level of ELO for the rest of the group. And I hate getting into the whole like I don't want to listen to you because you're lower, you're higher than me or whatever. But if we're seeing such a weird disparity where we've got trial mechs, like people still in trials and starting out, like that is a point where it hits a problem with that system. I am all for the stance that, you don't have to be really, really, really good at the game to understand it. But if you give people that are literally in their first 10 matches a chance to take command over veteran players, I think that might be a failure of the system.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying, but my answer to that, whenever people talk about that, I just still feel like anyone, coordinating and commanding at all is better than, even if they're doing it wrong, whatever that means, because it's all very objective. It's still better than anything. I mean, I've seen people.
From my Battlefield experience, you can definitely have very, very bad commanders that screw things up.
Well, with Battlefield, wasn't there like a voting, not a voting, but like an election system?
Vote your commander out, and that might be something I'd like to see, because every match was just a race to see who could become commander, because everybody liked dropping those artillery strikes.
In 2142, I remember there was a commander election thing, where I don't think you instantly got commander. I think the game chose who commander was, and I can't remember if it was.
It chose off your rank.
Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. I mean, the longer you play, theoretically, the better you get.
But you at least have a token understanding of the game and the mechanics of the game.
Like right now, it's a race, and I'd like to see the whole point I'm going with this is I'd like to see the commander and lance commander thing overhauled with the new UI, just on how it's selected in some way, shape, or form. Because again, we're facing all of us are really high elo, and we're facing trials that have these people ever played before, which in and of itself makes me feel kind of bad when we get matched up against them, because they're probably not having a good first couple of games.
Oh, that poor trial awesome last night.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I just felt really bad. Like I almost wanted to just let him shoot me some more. But nothing's stopping him from monopolizing the command features right now, and I think that's something PGI needs to look at.
Yeah, although new players suspect they wouldn't really know what that even is quite yet, unless they're
all you have to do is hit
really
B,
research the game,
and it tells you right there, hit this to take command. Now, I think most people wouldn't jump right into it, but
Okay, so I'm gonna skim over this last question here and ask the devs. Is dropship mode going to be assault and capture with more lives, or is it going to be something completely different? They've confirmed this before, but just to make it visible, dropship mode is essentially the ability to respawn, which could be available to any current or future mode. So keep an eye out for that with, launch, community warfare, late summer, whatever version of soon trademark you wish to use.
Wonder if the respawn's going to be the same mech, or is it just going to be your 4 ready mechs? Because that's what they implied on one of their other answers here, was that you're going to have up to 4 mechs when you entered a lobby.
That would make sense, because otherwise the ready mech system is kind of
Useless.
silly. Yeah. Unless you really, really want to launch a game without going to Mech Lab first.
I mean, it is useful, especially like as you get a lot of mech labs, you don't have to scroll through and find them.
It automatically picks your last played mech, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to swap up, it's actually I do like it. I use it extensively when I'm toggling back and forth between my Atlas and other stuff.
I should do that. As often as I miss lunch in the wrong mech.
Why am I in a trial mech? So, moving on from that though. So we've got that, and then the next big thing, we've talked about it before, Missile State Rewind should be in on the 21st, they said? It wasn't making the 7th?
Let's see. Is that going to be? It might be in the weapon and ECM
Weapons are
balancing
all
update.
going
Let's
to
see.
be on the 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah, missile update. This is in the weapon and ECM balancing post. Missiles are coming along. A lot of stuff has been rewritten, and we have to test and retune numbers to get them ready to be released back into the live game.
Oh, speaking of missiles, real quick. Everybody out there should go file a bug report on Streaks, because according to the Ask the Devs, they don't believe Streaks are currently broken right now.
Oh yeah, I feel
wow,
awful
okay.
about missing that one. They claim that they're not actually seeking the center torso. They're because of splash damage and the random chance. It looks like you're getting cored. Taking 4 damage to either of my side torsos and then taking 50 damage straight through the center. No. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as easy as
Disagree.
loading up trading grounds and shooting at a mech from the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, from almost 90 degrees, you can be standing like almost perpendicular to the mech's front, and you're still going to hit the center torso 95% of the time.
Anyway,
And most of the mechs, too.
so apparently they don't believe it's broken, and we should all submit bug reports on this, because it's broken.
Indeed. The next time it happens, I'm going to do my best to grab a screenshot real quick. For those of you who aren't running through Steam or something, if you hit Alt-Enter, it will take you out of full screen mode, and it'll go to Windowed real quick. Just hit print screen, put that into Paint or something, and you can trim that up, upload it.
Alright, so anyway, moving on to the rest of the weapon balance. I feel like this is Petra's favorite post in the last month.
Easily.
It so is. I'm so happy.
It could be everyone's favorite post, to be honest. Although, Petra, your LBXs are getting some love.
I've been waiting for this for a long time, guys. It's going to be awesome.
So
I
they
think,
say that
well,
they're reducing the cone of fire for the LB10X by 20%.
yeah.
Do you think that's enough? Do you think that's not
No.
enough?
I could be biased, but I think that they really need to up the crit chance on that, because honestly, at the distance that I'm using it, I don't think that 20% is gonna really make much of a difference. I mean, I never fire at anyone outside of like 200 meters, so even then, I'm usually like right up in their face, filling them full of.
20% should be pretty significant up to 500 meters, though.
Yeah, at 500 meters, yeah, but like if I'm standing right next to them, 20% is not gonna really make much of a difference.
Well,
But yeah, if they would up the crit chance a little bit more, I think that'd be perfect. But yeah, I'll take the 20%. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love that
Yeah,
they're looking
yeah.
at it.
A buff is a buff, right?
Exactly.
Which that statement could also apply to machine guns.
Damage is doubled.
Yeah, I think the machine
Straight up.
gun buff is good. I think they'll be in a good spot after that.
aren't they going to be comparable with small lasers now on terms of DPS? Or even a medium laser,
0.8.
someone said?
I think their DPS would be 0.8 if I'm reading it right.
Yeah, if at the very least they're getting closer to the point where it's worth it to actually carry them. I mean, they need a niche. They don't need to be a joke weapon. And I think a lot of people are really glad that they have variants like what the Spider 5K is it, and the Cicada 3C are not useful at all in the current game. So to see these getting a buff, I'm hoping to see more variants being used.
Well, the other change that will help more variants being used in